The Italians really said to ICE over there, you could stay and get your ass beat, or you could stay and get your ass beat. You could stay and get your ass beat. Thank you, they have no business being over there. But also, don't come home neither. We don't want you here either.
Maybe Italy is not fucking around. Fucking, they decided to send ICE agents over there to the Olympics or some bullshit, and Italy is tearing their asses up. I mean, tearing their asses up. Maybe we should learn from them, motherfuckers. I don't know. But vroom, rat-ta-ta-ta. Now that is what I needed to see.
Anger in Italy today after the U.S. revealed it will send ICE agents to the Winter Olympics. Italy's opposition party today protesting after reports that ICE agents will be part of the American security team. Milan's mayor says ICE is not welcome in his city and called the group, quote, a militia that kills.
ICE agents in Italy are not having a good time, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So just let me first of all say thank you to the Italians who are out in the streets protesting against ICE and beating the shit out of them. It's beautiful to see. It's disappointing to know that your prime minister, Meloni, was saying that the people who are protesting against ICE were not Italian. And this is part of the weird thing I'm seeing in Europe that I don't understand, which is you're seeing firsthand what happens when you backslide into fascism. And yet, Italy and then Germany and places like the UK seem to be following in the footsteps of America's mistake, and it's concerning. But I will tell you this stuff gives me hope. The way they approach this gives me hope for the future. It gives me hope that Europe won't do what's happening here. So I just want to say thank you. It's wonderful to know that ICE agents are in another country. They don't understand the language and they're getting the shit kicked out of them. I love it. I love it so much. Thank you, Italians. Thank you, everybody who protests, and just keep it up if you can, please.
So there's ICE agents in Italy and they're getting beat the fuck up. Guys, I'm worried about our ICE agents. What if they come back?
White people in America, I need y'all to take notes from the people in Milan, the Italians. The people said the ICE agents is down there to the Italy, and the Italy people is lighting their ass up. Baby, they is putting belt to ass out there. So white people in America, y'all need to get like y'all cousins, the Italians, and copy them when it came to them ICE agents, because they over there whooping ass with them ICE agents in Italy. It don't make it makes all the sense. I was gonna say it don't make no sense. It makes all the sense. They over there putting belt to ass. All right, thank you, too.
Why the hell are we sending ICE to the Winter Olympics in Italy to protect J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio? Immigration and Customs Enforcement is a domestic agency. And listen, I have a lot of problems with the Secret Service, but they are literally trained to protect assets and not cause international incidents. Sending ICE, that goon squad, to another country is a recipe for disaster.
For example, did you know that Trump sent ICE agents to Italy to go, I don't know, supervise the fucking Winter Olympics in Milan? Well, do you know what Milan did? They beat the brakes off of ICE. They are out there curb stomping the shit out of ICE in Milan. Look it up. Or how about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell went on her deposition and pled the fifth for every single question they asked her, claiming that she's waiting for clemency from Trump. So basically, her silence is for sale. Look it up. Or how about the fact that the company Life Touch, the people that used to take the school pictures, was owned by a guy who had close and personal connections to Epstein? Oh, believe me, look it up. Oh, and by the way, the same guy, Leon Black, that owned Life Touch, also owned Chuck E. Cheese. You know, the place that does pizza parties for kids. Look it up.
So you tell me how bad people hate ICE. So now people in Italy are protesting against ICE coming there. If you didn't know, J.D. Vance is going to the Olympics, right? They're being held in Italy. So the Italians said, well, come on. But J.D. Vance decided to throw a curveball. I'm not taking CIA. I'm not taking Secret Service. No, none of that. I'm bringing ICE agents with me as my security. Oh, Italy said, no, sir, we don't think so. We don't want people like that here. And now they're protesting. There's at least 2,000 plus people protesting ICE being at the Olympics. What does that tell you?
Question, why is ICE needed in Italy? Talk to me like a fifth grader. Why is the immigration leg for America needed for a security detail in Italy. At the same time, we're seeing ICE use tactics that IDF is using. Do we all need to have like a critical thinking moment? Because why is ICE in Italy? And also, kudos on Italy for stomping the shit out of them. ICE has no jurisdiction there, and Italy is tearing them up. Like, Italy is beating their ass, for real. They're not showing it on TV because it's quite embarrassing. Like, you getting your ass stomped out, but like, they tearing them up.
Family, what you're witnessing here is more than just a protest. It's a collision of ideologies. And so immigration enforcement has always been controversial, especially when associated with agencies like ICE. And over the years, family, ICE has become a symbol not just of border control, but of larger debates around human rights, sovereignty, and how governments treat vulnerable communities. And so when reports and footage began circulating showing ICE agents facing resistance and heated protests abroad, the reaction online was really immediate. And so Italy has a long and complex relationship with migration. And as a Mediterranean entry point into Europe specifically, the country has dealt with waves of migration for decades. Tensions have often flared over how to handle asylum seekers and even undocumented individuals. And so when enforcement optics, especially those associated with aggressive tactics, appear in that environment, emotions are bound to intensify. And so from what observers described, demonstrators were loud, organized, and even unapologetic. And protesters chanted, waved banners, and even made it clear that they rejected what they viewed as heavy-handed enforcement practices. And so social media quickly framed the moment as instant karma, suggesting that the kind of pressure and fear often associated with immigration raids was suddenly being felt by the enforcers themselves, that is the ICE. And now, here's where we need to slow down and even think critically, family. Was this truly karma, or was it a predictable clash between different national attitudes towards immigration enforcement? Now, when American-style enforcement optics meet European protest culture, especially in a country like Italy, where public demonstrations are deeply embedded in political expression, tension is almost inevitable. And so protests in Italy are not rare. They are often loud, they are often passionate, and even very visible. And so public resistance is a normalized part of civic engagement, family. And what made this moment even go viral wasn't just the protest, it was the symbolism. For years, ICE has been viewed by critics as untouchable, heavy protected, and even operating with significant authority. And seeing agents appear uncomfortable, family, outnumbered, or even caught off guard disrupts that narrative. And the internet thrives on disrupted narratives, family. Some commentators argue that this moment reflects growing global scrutiny of immigration policies worldwide. Others say that it highlights how enforcement agencies often underestimate how their presence is perceived outside their home jurisdiction. And optics matter, family. Context matters, history matters, and at the same time, it's important to recognize that law enforcement agencies operate within legal frameworks established by governments. And so officers themselves are often implementing policies decided far above their rank, and the frustration we see on the streets is usually directed at the system. And even if the uniform that absorbs the backlash, what really fascinates me most about the situation is how quickly the narrative formed. Within hours, social media labeled it karma, but that label reveals something deeper, family. There is significant proportion of the public that feels unresolved anger about immigration enforcement practices, and that frustration doesn't really disappear, family. It travels, it resurfaces in symbolic moments like this. And this also raises a bigger question, family. How do agencies adopt when operating or appearing outside of their typical environment? And cultural awareness is not optional, family. Public sentiment is not irrelevant, and in today's digital world, family, perception can travel faster than any formal statement. And so, family, whether you agree with strict enforcement or advocate for immigration immigration reform, one thing is clear for sure: power is no longer immune to public response. Cameras are everywhere, narratives are form instantly, and even global audiences are watching. And so the takeaway here isn't just about ICE or Italy. It's about accountability, perception, and the unpredictable nature of public backlash in a hyper-connected world. And when authority means resistance, family, especially across borders, sparks can fly. And maybe that's the real lesson: not karma, not revenge, but the reality that enforcement policies don't exist in a vacuum. And so they exist in communities, in cultures, and in very emotional human contexts. And all right, family, I want to hear from you. Do you think this was truly instant karma, or was it simply a clash of systems and values? And so I would like you to drop your thoughts below. Let's keep it respectful, let's keep it thoughtful, and as always, let's stay informed.